Could we be seeing a $2,000 stimulus check per person instead of the $1,200 that was proposed? Maybe. It's been floated. We'll see. All right. Hey guys, welcome to the Late Night Grind. This is a channel that I just started, and I wanted to actually just give you guys a little bit of an insight. I've been working for pretty much the past 15 years, just late at night working on like YouTube projects, side hustles, things like that at night. At night is really the only time I have, so figured why not adopt it into a YouTube channel, call it the Late Night Grind, because that's exactly what it is. So I would really appreciate, before we get started, if you could hit the subscribe button below, turn that red button gray, and also hit the bell notification. This will actually get you alerted when I drop a new video. Right now, it's about stimulus updates, which covers the important things like how much money we getting and when. All right, so let's get into this. Things are moving along quickly through the government. No, I'm actually kidding. They're not. It's total gridlock. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, they're not exactly simpatico. In fact, the only thing they can agree on is that the American people need some kind of stimulus. In fact, we just got word recently that the GDP is actually down 32%, and it's one of those things where if you don't laugh, you will cry. Typically, a GDP, we struggle to get 3%, maybe 4% growth, and that is awesome. So being down 32% is just tragic. Of course, that's artificial, of course. And I say artificial because basically governors across the country, they basically just shut everything down. They basically just said, hey, let's hit the pause button on life. And in other pause button news, the Republicans wanted to keep the pause button on evictions. So they proposed a 1-week extension of the eviction moratorium. That's right, a week, a full 7 days. In fact, that's about 3 times less than the length of a typical government vacation. In any case, part of the issues is that Republicans don't just want to throw money blindly at states. Democrats don't want to support things like liability protection for businesses, and it basically just creates a stalemate. But ultimately, President Trump does want to get payments, larger payments to the people. Now, I mentioned $2,000 stimulus payment instead of the $1,200 that was proposed in the HEALS Act, because that was actually floated by several people. We'll see if it gains any traction. Right now, it probably won't, but we'll see. In fact, we don't really even know what Trump was essentially referring to when he was talking about stimulus, larger stimulus payments. Was he talking about the actual $1,200 check, or was he talking about unemployment benefits? Because some of those things were being discussed as well. But here's actually what he said. He said, I support it, but it has to be done properly. He said, I actually support larger numbers than the Democrats. So Trump actually said this weeks ago, that he wanted larger checks to the people. Some people are basically just speculating that he's kind of posturing, essentially getting ahead of the game if the payments do go up, if the Democrats are pushing for higher numbers, higher stimulus checks, that Trump might take credit for that. The fact of the matter is the president and Republicans and Democrats both agree that some kind of stimulus is needed. They're just fighting or just having a large stalemate over the details. Some of them are important details. But, simply kicking the can down the road only lasts for so long. It only works for so long. So, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, actually the hot button is, of course, the eviction moratorium. And I mentioned this earlier in the video. Republicans thought a 7-day pause would give enough time to actually, work on something that would be a little more permanent, like till the end of the year. But it was not done. It was rejected. So the other hot button issue right now, of course, the unemployment benefits. The HEALS Act that was proposed on Monday wanted to drop the $600 weekly bonus checks down to $200 additional benefit check. This is kind of a tough pill to propose and to swallow. Obviously, there's a lot of people still hurting because of unemployment. They're just not making as much as they were before when they were employed. On the other side, businesses, they just need to go out and hire people. But because of other things like regulations and lockdowns and shutdowns, they can't. But that's going to be part of the biggest part of the cure to this is getting people back to work. There needs to be bonuses for rehiring employees. I know there's been back to work bonus has been floated at one point. the unemployment rate has actually been dropping the last couple of months, been doing better and better. This last recent number we got, it did bump up just a little bit, so we will see kind of how that's going to track moving forward into the next couple of weeks. Obviously, some states are going back into lockdown or at least limiting things that they previously had opened, so we'll just have to see what works on that. But yeah, back to the evictions, which that's kind of the most recent hot button issue. President Trump said we need to work on evictions so people don't get evicted. Obviously, he doesn't want that to be on his name. He doesn't want people to get evicted, period. It's not that season, it's not that time, it's not that year. So I expect something to get done. Both sides will come up with something. Obviously, it's more just a matter of timing for that. So, will we get $2,000? Will we get $6,000? Who knows? I've seen some numbers floated. Most of them are just for clickbait on YouTube. But I wanted to put that out there for you guys because I know that's something that had actually been discussed in government when they are not too busy pulling the football out from Charlie Brown as he tries to kick it. With that said, I appreciate you watching this video, and like I said, if you would subscribe and click that bell icon notification so you get notified when I put out other videos, I would really much appreciate that. I kind of wanted to take this time to, introduce more of the channel. Like I said, it's been something I've been doing for a long time, just working late at night on side hustles, side projects, startups, all kinds of things, YouTube channels, YouTube videos, and so I figured let's just make a channel, call it The Late Night Grind. So that's what a lot of these videos are going to be about. Obviously, I'm going to have stimulus check updates. Most of it's going to be revolving around finance. I actually wanted to show you guys this. On the screen behind me, that's a leopard. The reason I picked a leopard to be on my screen is because leopards hunt at night. And I thought that was a perfect representation of the late night grind. All right, guys, that's going to be it. I'll see you on the next video. Oh, and also this was the second time I had to record this video because the first time I did the whole thing and realized my microphone was off.